Hi bold bakers, it's pie season, so let's not beat around the bush and let's get down to brass tacks. An apple pie is a must for your bold baking repertoire. A simple dessert, yes, but when made right, it's simply delicious. Also, good news, today is bonus video day thanks to my partnership with Good Cook. So after this video, I want you to head over to the Good Cook channel and see how you can make a pumpkin pie. As always, the written recipe can be found on biggerbolderbaking.com, and make sure you check out my website because I've got a whole holiday baking headquarters full of recipes for this time of year. So now you can't have a pie without pie crust. Here is my homemade pie crust, super easy to make. I've doubled the recipe, so I've got pie crust for the bottom and pie crust for the top. Now I'm just going to remove one of them over to the side, and we're going to roll out this bottom one to around 11 inches round. So if you are new to making pie crust, this is the perfect time to start. My recipe is really easy. You can make it by hand or even in a food processor, and it just yields amazing flaky pastry. Okay, lovely, this is nice and big. So now what you want to do to move pastry easily is just roll it over your rolling pin, just like that. So now a quintessential piece of baking equipment is a pie pan. This is a 9-inch Good Cook pie pan. It's non-stick, so your pie comes out really easily. I have probably 2 or 3 of these, and I always use them all year round. Definitely have them close by because especially during the holiday season, you're going to get good use out of it. I have a link on my website of where you can buy this right now, and you'll have it in time for Thanksgiving. So while your pastry's on your rolling pin, gently roll it over your pan and it'll fall right into place. Then just give it a little bit of a nudge, a bit of a helping hand, and then just push it into the pan, making sure that there's no air bubbles or anything in there. Lovely. Now, this is where I like to use the scissors to trim my pastry. It just kind of cleans it up a little bit. So all you want to do is just trim around the pastry, still leaving a little bit of an overlap of pastry because we're going to scallop the edges and we need that extra bit. So there you go, it's nice and rustic. Don't worry about how it looks right now because we're going to tidy it up. Set that over to the side, and what we're going to do is roll out the other piece of pastry. So same deal again, but this time you're going to want around maybe a 9-10 inch round. This is going to be the lid for our pie. It's really helpful when working with pastry if you move it on the countertop so you can get it nice and even all over. So now for some really easy decorating tips, I have a little apple cutter here. It's super cute, perfect for this time of year. And I'm just going to cut out 4 apples on top of my pastry. Now make sure you keep those little bits of extra pastry because we're going to put those on top after. Perfect. And then once we get the size that we want, I'm going to peel it back over my rolling pin, and I'm just going to gently lay it on top of our pie base. So now these are ready to go. That's one big part of the pie already done. I'm going to pop this into the fridge and let it get nice and cold while we're making our filling. So to make our filling, the first thing we're going to do is chop some peeled apples. So every country uses different apples to bake with. In America, Granny Smith apple is very common. However, in Ireland, we've got this apple called a Bramley apple, and it's really good for making pies and crumbles out of because it breaks down really well. There's also an apple out there called a New York apple, which is kind of like that Irish Bramley apple that I was talking about, and it's really good for pies. So if you can find that, you're golden. So all you want to do is just chop them up until they're small enough pieces. This pie only takes around 3 to 4 apples. And then pop them into a nice big bowl. Next, into our apples, we're going to add in some brown sugar because apples love brown sugar. It kind of gives them a bit of a caramel flavor. What I also like to add into my pie, but this is totally optional, is some vanilla extract. I just think that it really elevates the flavor of the pie and also kind of makes it a little bit sophisticated. Now, only because I always have it in my fridge, I have half a vanilla pod here, and I'm going to add the seeds into the mix. It looks really beautiful throughout and it gives it even more flavor. And then lastly, corn flour or cornstarch. Now, if you don't eat this or are allergic to it, feel free to leave it out. But let me just tell you, we add this in because it thickens the juices when they come out of the apples and kind of creates a thick sauce. So if you don't have it in there, your pie might be on the thinner side. Okay, that's everything. So just give it a mix together. So that's your simple pie filling. Now what we're going to do is get our crust from the fridge and assemble our pie. So add in all of your apples. Now if it looks like too much, don't worry because it cooks down quite a lot. Then very carefully lay over your top piece of pastry. Gorgeous, see those little apples coming through. And then with our scissors again, we're going to trim the edges. Now just trim it to the size of the dish. And make sure you keep those scraps because we're also going to use those. So for the edges of your pie, all I like to do is just with your fingers, go ahead and crimp the edges. It just gives them a nice little finish all the way around. I like little decorations that you can do with your hands. Beautiful. Then remember those little apples that we cut out? We're going to take those and place them in between the apple holes. They're going to look super pretty. And then last but not least, egg wash. This will make sure that when you bake your pie, it's a lovely shiny golden brown. Just egg wash all over the top. Fantastic. After making your pie, if you've got a little bit of pastry left over, then roll it up into a ball, pop it into the freezer, and they'll have it ready to go for another pie another day. Oh, look at that. Absolutely gorgeous. Now this guy is ready to be baked off. Bake your pie off at 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 180 degrees Celsius for roughly 50 to 60 minutes or until a lovely golden brown. So when your apple pie comes out of the oven, it should look just like this, beautiful golden brown all over, and you can tell that it's still bubbling underneath. I'm going to set this aside and let it cool down for around 20 minutes. So everyone's a little bit different. Some people like cold apple pie, I like it warm, and then of course a nice big dollop of freshly whipped cream on the side. So I'm going to dig in right now. There are certain recipes that evoke food memories when you taste them, and this is one of them for me. This reminds me of when I was young in Ireland and my mum used to make apple pies all the time. We used to eat the raw apples out of the bowl when she was putting in the pastry, and it's just something that has such fond memories for me, and it just reminds me of my childhood. If you need to transport your pie safely this holiday season, you can use the Sweet Creations Carrier by Good Cook. Just add it in, snap on the lid, and you're good to go. I hope you're not full up because I've got another pie recipe to share with you. Head over to Good Cook's channel right now and check out how to make a classic pumpkin pie. I'll see you back here really soon for more bigger, bolder baking. It's not that I'm taking too much, it's that I have a small mouth.